This video is going to be a quick demonstration on how you should properly use the Typhoon Sword in chapter 6 or something of Fortnite. I see a lot of players use the sword wrong and it irritates me to no end because it is such a simple mechanic, and especially if you play with me, you should not be dying or using the sword incorrectly, especially when you drop where I drop, being one of the areas with the most amount of swords in the entire game. This sword is crucial to your success, and if you want to do well by yourself, in a squad, in a duo, in a trio, you should learn how to use the sword properly. If you don't understand how to use the Typhoon Blade, this item here, you are going to die a lot, and you are going to grief a lot of your teammates as well. So I'm just going to go over the fundamental items or the things first. So left click is this. You hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You hit maybe 6 or 7 times. This is not good, right? Because watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I hit maybe 6 times, yes, the DPS is very high, but you are essentially standing still. You notice how throughout this entire time I'm jamming myself up into the bot, and I'm also stunned. It's very easy to predict. You are going to get a headshot, you are going to get fucking killed. So do not do this. Left clicking is very bad. Even this one, it's kind of predictable, it's not good. Secondly, the right click is very good. This thing, it does 90 damage and it pushes enemies in a linear direction. It goes up and then it goes down. So when you right click someone with this, it's very easy to predict where they are and where they're going to go. You can track your shots accordingly, like this. Next, this is the most important part. You can sprint and you go very fast. See how it goes very fast? This item allows you to do essentially a double jump up in the air, a double height jump, and then while you're in the air you can jump again, you can dash again, and you go like up, you go up, and then you go across, and this is very good. This is what you need to learn how to use properly. So I'm going to quickly show you how to do one of the most essential techs, which I call the sword tech. Technically speaking, it's called the sword shotgun tech, but I'm just going to call it sword tech because it's pretty self-explanatory. This is what it looks like. Now I'm just going to quickly run through how to do this, right? There are certain steps that you need to do. So I'm just going to quickly set up. So this is actually pretty simple. Regardless of what you may think, it's pretty easy to do this. So how to do it? Have any gun out. Well, anything, whatever you want out. The first thing you need to do is to equip the sword. Number 2, you sprint and you move forward immediately. So you have this animation going on, this wind animation thingy. When this wind animation activates, your third step is to press jump. So you'll be up here. You'll be up like pretty high, right? When you are up high, you need to change to your shotgun. Step 4. Step 5, you need to shoot the shotgun. Step 7 or 6, I think. Equip the sword again. Because you're in midair, you're still in midair. Jump. The next step is to dash off to the side by pressing space, and you'll go like whichever direction you choose to do so. You'll dash and you'll be around here or something like that. The next step, equip your shotgun again. The step after that, shoot, and then rinse and repeat after that. When you land off like this, you can choose to either land like this, you can choose to land like this, or lastly, this is only if you want to regain a bit of stamina. When you land, you can land like this, and you do a little combat roll and you get your stamina back a little bit. You can only do this twice during one use of your stamina bar, if that makes sense. Meaning that, see, I regained a bit of stamina now. I regained a tiny little bit. Now I won't regain anything. The next tech that you need to learn is how to properly attack with the sword. The only attack you should be using is the right click. This. It does 90 damage, and assuming it doesn't insta-kill someone, it will send them flying in a linear direction, being up and down, like this. How you do this properly, you do not run at someone and right click. That is grief, because this is going to get you killed. You are traveling from here to here, and anyone who's got good aim will shoot you and you are dead. So you do not do this. How you do this properly is you jump up and then you dash, and then as soon as you dash you will travel at a very fast velocity, and then it's very difficult to hit you, and you're not only are you challenging them in the y-axis, you are also making them have a more difficult time to hit you in the x-axis as well. So this is what it should look like. Pretty easy. The third tech that you need to know, it's not even really a tech. This is just how to basically move around properly in zero builds. How I'm going to do this, I'll just throw a bunker here and start at this wall. This is how normal players use the sword. When traversing around the map, I'm talking when you're not being shot by a player. This is how normal players run from the fucking storm. Well, I say normal, as in players who don't know what they're doing. What they do is they hold forward, they hold sprint, they pull the sword out, and they just run in a linear direction like this. Yes, it gets you from point A to point B, and you run pretty fast, right? I am also using the gold sword, with the one which gives you more sprint, or the more speed. So with the purple sword, you actually go probably about here before you run out of stamina, because you simply just don't go that far. Okay, so I started off that wall, I ended up around here. I'm just going to put this thing here, right? So now let's try it again. So I've left the blue marker there as an indication as to where I ended up. So now let's try it with my tech. Well, it's not really my tech. So how you do it is you sprint and you slide for a bit. 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 You don't have to sprint for very long, as long as you just tap into the sprint and then you just slide, because what happens is you are sliding at well, you're partially sliding at the velocity of a sprinting sword, and when you feel like you're going slower, you then sprint again for a tiny millisecond, and then you start sliding again, and you rinse and repeat. Notice how, well, okay, I ended up roughly about here. Okay, I can't even. You get my point, right? With a normal sprint, just running forward with the sword, I end up about here. With my sprint slide tech, you go from there all the way to here. That is an extra 143 meters, pretty much 142 meters. This is how you properly use a sword.